Hey, okay, so I'm getting ready to show y'all how I make black bean soup. I made some black beans in my Instant Pot and didn't really think that I was going to use them anymore for like rice and beans. So I'm going to use the leftover beans and make some soup from that. So this is going to be really quick. I'm just going to show you the process and how I cook. And then hopefully you guys can give it a try and share on Instagram or Twitter. And then tag me in the handle plant-based free. So in my Dutch oven right now, I just have some white onions, some peppers, and garlic. I'm gonna roast that for about 15 to 20 minutes. That was actually my oven telling me that it's actually at 425 degrees. So I'm just gonna drizzle this with olive oil and pop it in and then let them roast until they have like a char color to them. Ooh, okay. So this is what everything looks like once it's roasted. The garlic kind of got too dark, but it's okay. I flipped it over halfway through cooking. But yeah, this is what it should look like when it's done. Next, I'm going to add the beans and blend everything up. So this is what everything looks like once I mushed it up. I took the garlic out of the bowl and broke some down. I took the stems off of the peppers. Yeah, that's everything. This is what it looks like, the pot right now. As far as seasoning goes, this is what I'm gonna put into the soup. Tomatoes, cumin, chili powder, smoked paprika, extra virgin olive oil, some pink salt, and then the organic no salt seasoning from Costco. That's basically everything I'm gonna put inside of it. So I added I added the tomatoes. And I'm gonna let that cook down a little bit and like get some of the water out of it and get some of those acidic flavors going in the pot. I'm also going to add some olive oil right now. To be honest, I'm not using a recipe, but I feel like this needs olive oil. I would say you can make it oil-free, but you're gonna compromise the flavor. So yeah, this good amount of oil. And I'm just gonna cook that down. Smells amazing. I added the seasoning now, and I turned the heat, oh my goodness, I cannot talk today. I turned the heat to medium. Just to cook, like I said, to cook everything down. I don't want anything to burn, but I do want a lot of these flavors to come together, and I want a lot of depth in the soup. So I'm gonna let this do its thing for about maybe 5 minutes. I'm gonna put the lid on and see how it goes. I'm also definitely gonna add veggie broth, but I'll do that after, like I said, I let the water from the tomatoes kind of cook out. Okay, so now I'm gonna add some vegetable broth and a little bit of the beans that I prepped. So I added the vegetable broth. I'm also next going to add the beans. I'm cooking them dry, so they have a lot of flavor. They also have a lot of depth to them because I cooked them in the Instant Pot, which is a pressure cooker, with habanero peppers. So there's like a kick to it too, which is why I don't have any habanero peppers in the actual pot. But this sauce is coming together for the base of the soup. I want to let this come to a boil. Not like a rumbling boil, but like a little boil. And then I'm going to add some of the beans. Okay, so now I'm going to add in some beans, but not too much of like the gravy that came. I definitely need a tripod doing this with my hands. It's not as easy as I thought it would be, but it's okay. Smells amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to use the immersion blender and blend everything up. this is what it looks like once it's been blended. I didn't blend it too fine. Like, there's still chunks of things, but it's definitely, you know, not tomatoes or peppers, like whole pieces. So this is the consistency that I wanted. If you like if you want it on the stew side, feel free to blend less. But this is the texture that I was looking for. Okay, so as I said earlier, I did not use a recipe for this, and it ended up making too much base or gravy, whatever you want to call it. I ended up making too much of it. So what I had to do is I took a mason jar and I added, I took some out of the pot and put it into a mason jar so that I can freeze it, so that the next time I want to have bean soup, I can make it without having to, you know, roast the veggies, onions, peppers, all that stuff. So what I did do is I took some more dry beans, recooked them in my Instant Pot for about 35 minutes. I put them in this little container here. It's about 2 cups. I'm just gonna pour some in, and we're gonna take it from there. I'm just gonna add until I have the desired texture that I want, because I did want it to be smooth, but I did also still want some whole black beans in there. And this is very difficult to do with one hand, so forgive me. But yes, I did want full beans in the soup. So after I kind of went back and made some more beans, I'm adding it now. And as you can see, it's definitely thickening up. And it's also, you have a lot of whole beans in the soup, which is what I was really going for. I also chopped up some cilantro and threw it in, and just kind of let it, you know, obviously wilt away because the pot is still hot. And what I'm going to do is cook this now that I have new beans. And the beans, I didn't really put flavor into them when I put them in the Instant Pot. So the beans that are in this container, they're really not seasoned, because I didn't want to have it to be too salty, because I know that once the soup has reduced, not only was it spicy, which I love because I kept those habaneros in there, it had a very balanced flavor, and I didn't want to mess that up by adding beans that were salty back into the pot. So I'm just going to go back and like rebuild the flavor up a little bit, maybe add some more smoked paprika, maybe some cumin, some black pepper, just things like that. But I'm not going to really add anything extra from what I just added into the pot from the seasoning in the initial part of the video. So yeah, this is what I say when I cook without recipes. It really is, I taste my way around the kitchen. Nothing, in my mind, there's no perfect way to cook. And I think that through intuition is my favorite way to cook. So that's what's going on here. So like I said, I'm going to let this do its thing for a little bit. I'm going to put the lid on and probably put it on a low heat for about 15 minutes just to let those beans kind of get into the flavor. And then after that, the soup will be ready to go. So here's the final product. The texture is spot on. The flavor is amazing. It has a lot of depth. If you've never had black bean soup, or if you only have black bean soup from Panera, I'll tell you that this is like 20 times better, because I did roast the chilies and the jalapenos, and the garlic, and then I also have habanero, and I cooked the beans from dry. So yeah, it's delicious. And I hope that this was simple for you to follow along, or just kind of get some kind of inspiration. Like I said, I didn't use a recipe for this. I tasted my way around the kitchen, and it came out bomb. So yeah, that's that on that.